This is the ACC on ESPN. And on this New Year's Eve afternoon from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's the Pittsburgh Panthers hosting the University of Albany Great Danes. Hi again, everybody. Along with Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Neverett. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching college basketball with us here on ESPN. Final non-conference game for Pitt. Curtis, they can't lose focus today.
They can't, but let's not be fooled here. You have a tendency, particularly with games like this, to look past teams like this. But what happens also, Tim, is once that ball is thrown up, it's about competing between the lines, and that's what's going to happen tonight.
Let's take a look at two of our competitors in our one-on-one. First, for the University of Albany out of Australia, he's their leading scorer, Peter Hooley, averaging 14.5 points a game.
Peter Hooley's an excellent jump shooter. He can also put the ball on the floor and get in the lane. You cannot foul this kid because, as you can see, he's a superb free throw shooter at 88%.
And the man leading Pittsburgh in scoring, coming off a career-best performance, needs just one more point for 1,000 in his career.
It was a career-best performance, 30 points in 30 minutes. That's pretty solid. But here's a guy that does it all for this Pitt basketball team on both ends of the floor. Expect a big game out of him tonight.
And the man on the bench for Albany is Will Brown on his 12th season, 172 and 191. Had a rough start when he began there. He had to take over for a coach who was fired after 7 games and lost his first one, but since then things have settled down, and Will Brown leading the way for Albany. And Jamie Dixon continues to win here at Pittsburgh. Dixon in his 11th season, 273 and 87. Take a look at the Great Danes starting 5. Starting point guard for Albany is DJ Evans. He's a senior. Peter Hooley, John Puck, Sam Rowley, and Gary Johnson. And for Pittsburgh, James Robinson, sophomore point guard, Cam Wright, Michael Young, the freshman from the greater Pittsburgh area, Lamar Patterson, Talib Zana will be the man in the middle for the Panthers. Pittsburgh in white, Albany in the purple and gold. The officials for this one this afternoon: Ray Stiles is the referee, Ron Taberski, and Bob Testa. We are set to jump it up here as John Puck will jump for Albany against Talib Zana. Zana wins the tip. Robinson's got it, and we are underway on this New Year's Eve. Robinson finding Cam Wright. Wright dumps it inside for Talib Zana. He's got 2, and Zana testing the inside presence of Albany right away.
Well, I think that's going to happen early and often, and that's testing the inside presence of Albany, and that guy there has been a beast so far as well, Talib Zana.
DJ Evans, 5'9", 175 pounds, wearing number 3 for Albany. Their starting point guard. Works the right wing right now, and with the basketball, Gary Johnson. Back to Evans. Evans, a quick guard. Will Brown telling me before the game that they need him to hit some shots. And hitting a shot right there is Sam Rowley, a guy that was described as their best player, the second leading scorer. He is one of a number of Aussies. He is a junior from Sydney.
And that particular play was set up for Rowley. He pulled the bigs away from the court and put it on the floor and got to the basket. Nice finish with the left.
Patterson lines up a 3. Rebound is taken down by Peter Hooley from Hobart. And Raleigh has 4, and Albany with a 2-point lead. Everything's going to run through Sam Raleigh. Raleigh's brother Mike is backing him up, and there'll be times when both will be on the floor, and they'll slip Sam over to the small forward position so they can get Mike some minutes.
Well, Tim, it runs through Raleigh in large part for the same reason why everything runs through Patterson, because they both are very unselfish, but they can score the basketball as well.
Right, the rebound. Young open for the flush, and the game tied at 4.
They're getting the big, some touches inside early.
One thing to expect from Albany, this is not a team built to take 3-pointers. In the America East where they play, they will settle for 2-point jumpers a lot, like this one from Johnson, and Wright on the rebound.
Good look for Johnson, just wasn't able to knock it down.
Cam Wright with the left hand going to the basket. The tip then by Zana. And Zana with 4 points and Pitt up by 2.
I like at least what I've seen early from the Pitt Panthers. They understand they have the height and size advantage, and getting the ball to the basket and to the rim is what they need to do.
Zana's already almost at his point total from his last game against Cal Poly. where he only had 6.
I think everybody took the night off that night because it was all about Lamar Patterson.
Peter Hooley with the ball. Johnson with it. Johnson driving, lays it in. Tied at 6. Gary Johnson, a senior from Moreno Valley, California. He's out of Oxnard.
Very explosive first step by Johnson.
A little bit of pressure being applied on Pitt. Patterson, a long pass. Young, back up to the point guard Robinson, skips it for Zana. Zana finds Young. Open look for Wright. Gave it up to Robinson. Time is under 20. Zana looks for help. Gets it with Robinson. A little give and go, but a foul underneath. And the foul is whistled on Sam Rowley. First foul of the ball game.
Excellent give and go here. Look pretty clean from here, Tim. That's why I don't have a whistle though.
Brown in his 12th season. You know, he actually worked for Pitt for a week. Well, Ben Holland was the coach at Pittsburgh. He hired him as an assistant. And after he was on the job for a week, he got a call from Albany saying, how'd you like to be the associate head coach? And he talked to Ben Holland about it. Former Pitt coach said, you know, if you want to be a head coach, that might be the way to go. So he went there. 7 games into his tenure at Albany, there was a coaching change, and he found himself as the head coach and has been it ever since.
Yeah, we obviously talked to him before the game, and that was his goal and his dream, but he never expected that it would happen that soon, 7 games into the season. Look up and he's the head coach.
Foul was on Zana, so each team with a team foul now. Evans, Young comes out to play him. Gary Johnson. And the battle underneath of big men is Zana and Puck. John Puck from Waterloo, Iowa at 6'10", facing up with the 6'9" Zana. Tolle back up to Evans. 3 seconds to shoot. Takes a long one and hits it. DJ Evans, a long 3-point field goal. And the Great Danes in front 9-6.
Panthers did a good job of forcing him into a tough shot, but that one went down.
Albany, an NCAA tournament team last year, found themselves in the wrong end of the score against the Duke Blue Devils. It was a turnover. And the ball back to Albany when we come back to Pittsburgh. After the first time out, the Great Danes in front of the Panthers 9-6. DJ Evans' long 3-pointer as time was expiring on the shot clock has put Albany ahead. Pretty big international flavor on this team from Albany. Australia well represented. Copenhagen, Denmark, and Tbilisi in the Republic of Georgia also represented. Again, here is Johnson driving with the left hand. He has been a guy who's been very steady for Albany, but how about this shot by Evans?
Again, that's not the shot that they were looking for, but we kind of forced him into the shot. He got a good, clean look at it. was able to knock it down. Nice stroke.
Albany with a lead in the basketball. Puck in the high post, guarded by Derek Randall. Deron Johnson is also in, wearing number 5 for Pitt. Randall giving Zana a break in the post. Peter Hooley dishes it off to Johnson. Pick from Rowley. Evans, hand in his face from Robinson. And there's Randall with a takeaway from behind the Albany center, John Puck. Trying to get within a point or perhaps tie it with this possession. Patterson out to Robinson. He drives and lays this one up. Can't get the roll. Here come the Great Danes. Rowley. Hooley rather pass to Rowley for the basket.
Nice pass by Hooley to Rowley. And I tell you what, they have the same mindset of the Panthers right now. Everything is in the paint. Everything's in the paint with the exception of jump shot that we saw earlier. Both teams, and that's, believe it or not, that's in the paint for Johnson.
It is in the paint.
Anything on the floor is in the paint for him.
11-6 lead. 5 points the advantage. The purple and gold right now. There's 5.5 minutes gone by. Puck faces the basket. A bit too long. Off the back rim, it's Randall. Now Pitt wanted to make the most of this possession. And have nearly given it away. Somehow Patterson hung on and he scores. And there it is for Lamar Patterson. Now with 1,000 points, 1,001 to be accurate, in his collegiate career. The 42nd Pitt Panther to have over 1,000 points.
One to remember because he was not to be denied there. He actually lost the ball, regained control, was able to finish it over the top. Nice shot off the backboard by Patterson.
3-point lead for Albany. Rowley for Johnson. That's for Rowley. Rowley up and down. It's a held ball situation. The possession arrow favoring Albany, so the Great Danes will have a possession right now. Let's go back and take a look at the milestone basket for Patterson.
Well, believe me, he knew that his next bucket would be over 1,000 if he had a 2, and that was 2. Nice shot by Patterson.
Standing career continues. 1,001 points and counting. Tipped and knocked out of bounds by Albany, so Pittsburgh will have it. Now Artis, freshman from Baltimore, Notre Dame Prep in Massachusetts. Checking in right now is Luke Devlin. He's from Sydney, Australia. He'll give Puck a break. Artis with the block from behind.
Good call. With his right hand. Albany's falling back. Well, actually, they're in a 1-2-2 full court press.
Dave Wigman has also entered the game for Albany. Middle of that press. Now Patterson, pass underneath, and a block by Rowley. In transition, it's Hooley. Doesn't make the basket. Rowley trying to create some space. His hook shot well short. Oh, look inside. Patterson's got 2 more. 4 for Lamar Patterson. And the Pitt Panthers now down by just a point.
We laughed a little bit earlier about Johnson saying that he shot the ball from 3. He said that's like in the paint for him. But one of the things that Jamie Dixon's very happy about is his ability now to start to pass the ball a little bit more.
Pass inside off the floor to Devlin. Taken back by Robinson. Albany started the game 5 for 6 from the field. They missed their last 5 field goal attempts. And that has allowed Pitt to cut the lead to 1. But the Great Danes will get the ball back after the Pitt turnover. Here comes Cam Wright back in for Pittsburgh. Also Talib Zana.
Tim, you mentioned they missed the last 5 or 6 field goals, and a lot of that has to do with how active Pitt has been the last few minutes of this ball game. Very active in the passing lanes. The weak side rotation has been solid, and they're keeping guys in front of them.
Josh Newkirk checks in at the point for Pitt. Newkirk will get to go home next week. Well, this week, actually, the weekend when ACC play opens up at NC State. That's the hometown for Newkirk, Raleigh. Here's Cam Wright. Deron Johnson for 2, and Pittsburgh in front, 12-11.
Good decision by Wright.
A member of the Baltimore connection, Deron Johnson, sophomore, 6'6". Redshirted his first year. He's actually the 4th Baltimore native to land at Pittsburgh over the last 3 years. Jumper good for 3 by Peter Hooley.
Talked about at the top of the show, that's one thing he can do is knock down that outside shot.
Hamdorf, Australia. Concordia College is where he stopped first. A solid shooter. See displayed right there. 2-point lead for the Great Danes. No Artis. Top Cam White has it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson lets it go. A little bit long on the 3. Gets his own rebound on the follow. All right, one-hand push pass. Johnson to get it to Zana, but Artis comes up with it. In and out. An Albany rebound by Luke Devlin. Devlin's been a bit of a project physically because he's had surgery on a knee, a back. He had a cortisone shot in the leg 3 weeks ago. And his head coach, Will Brown, doesn't know from game to game whether Devlin will be able to go. He'll give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whether he can go or not. Right now he's going. Number 11 for Albany. Here comes Newkirk on the run out. Newkirk to the basket, hangs, and he's fouled. Newkirk will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Fouled by Johnson. Johnson picks up his first personal foul. On free throws, when we come back to the Peterson Event Center, it's a 2-point ball game. .10:35 remaining in the first half. 14-12. Albany off to a pretty good start. Trailing by 2, but the big moment so far in the game belongs to Lamar Patterson. Career points number 1,000 and number 1,001.
I can remember as a player being close to your 1,000 points. All you want to do is get that thing out of the way. The rest of them seem to become a lot easier, I should say. And obviously he scored another bucket after that. 1,003 at this point. Excellent job by Patterson. Trust me. A lot more buckets to go.
79 consecutive starts. That's also something. You're talking about a college career. That's a lot of starts, and he's got a lot more to go.
He does, and he starts because look at his demeanor. Look at his great poise and control, and he's been that way since he's been here as a young kid. And the other guys feed off of that. As you can see, the young guys, Newkirk there, and all those guys really look up to Patterson, and they feed off of him.
Well, Newkirk at the line. First one doesn't fall for him.
Well, here's a kid that came in and they expected this guy. You know, obviously he has the jets, the speed to push the ball up the court, and has good court vision. And they were really looking for him to be a solid defensive player. And the one area that they fooled him in was, one area that he surprised him in was the fact that now he can shoot that outside jump shot. I mean, he's hit several threes this year so far, and he is a true outside threat.
Surprising to see 2 consecutive free throws missed. The Panthers are 0 for 4 from the free throw stripes. They came into the game on a school record pace for free throw percentage, better than 75%.
And that's in large part due to the fact, Tim, is that their bigs now can shoot the ball from the free throw line. We're talking about guys like Rando and of course, Mike Young, who's a big that can shoot free throws as well.
2-on-1, finished up by Cam Wright. And it's a tie game at 14. We've just reached the halfway mark of the first half.
Excellent transition play there, and good find by Newkirk.
Wigman with the basketball. Off to Gary Johnson. Johnson cut off here. We lost the handle on it. Patterson guarding it. Wigman picked up by Newkirk. Starting things again will be Peter Hooley. Changing direction. Then the ball stripped and a foul is called on Newkirk. It'll be his first. Team second. Each team with 2 team fouls. Fouls haven't been an issue at this point in time. And certainly coaches go into each game wondering how the whistles are going to affect their team. And so far there hasn't been much of an effect other than the fact for Pittsburgh they've missed all 4 of their free throw attempts.
That was a good decision by Hooley on that particular play. Tim, it was designed to come off of one left, coming off of a staggered screen. He recognized the bigs were hedging early, so he took the ball right down the right side and picked up the foul.
Well, Mike Rowley has come into the ball game to join his brother Sam. Sam will move over to the small forward position. Mike Rowley, a freshman, also from Sydney. Basket good, and Albany back in the lead.
Well, this is really a token 1-2 full court press because the Panthers have too many guys that handle the ball too well for it to really be a factor. That'll happen 90% of the time when you try to press a team like the Pitt Panthers that just have multiple guys that can handle and pass the ball from multiple positions.
6 points for Zana. He was wide open. Since the clock read 15:06. 6 minutes exactly. The Albany Great Danes are 1 for 9 from the field.
That defense they're pushing that defense further and further out. This creates deeper and deeper shots.
Patterson on the rebound and the run out right down the middle. It goes to Artis. Loose ball grabbed by Mike Rowley.
Bounce pass should have been in order there.
Off to Peter Hooley. Hooley, the team's leading scorer, averaging just under 15 points a game. Wigman guarded by Artis. Shot clock down to 10. Rowley backing in. Sam Rowley, left hand off the glass. A playground move.
Yeah, nice move up and under. But I tell you what, they're doing a good job, Albany, that is spreading the court. They're really getting their looks. You know, they're not knocking them all down, but they're really getting what they want.
Shot from the corner taken by Patterson. Loose ball grabbed by Sam Rowley.
You won't see him miss many of those, especially in rhythm.
Will Brown said he is the team's best player. Also, he's very versatile. He'll play a number of different positions. Last year against Duke in the NCAA tournament, Sam Rowley played point guard most of the game.
Sounds like Lamar Patterson. He's doing it all.
Missed the shot. Artis the rebound. Ahead to Robinson, over to Patterson. Patterson doubled. It's a man wide open in the corner. Cam Wright shot off the mark. 2-on-2. Here's Hooley going to the basket, but Robinson there to grab the basketball, knock it out of bounds. We've got another timeout. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. First half, 18-16. Albany. guy ringing in the new year here at Pitt. 18-16 Albany. Albany's had a lot of success lately. Last year, 24 wins. The most in a season by the Great Danes since they've been at the Division I level. They won 12 non-conference games. Won the American East Conference Tournament. Got a bid to the NCAA tourney. Went to the second round. Played Duke there. Will Brown led him there. He's in his 12th season. Longest tenured coach in the American East Conference. 3 conference titles, 3 tourney appearances. And he's very proud of what his students have done in the classroom as well.
No question about that, but you talk about success. Excuse me, they're also having success tonight, out-rebounding the Panthers so far, 13-11. I'm sure Jamie Dixon isn't happy with that.
E.J. Evans back in the ball game. He's the point guard. Pitt with the advantage inside, 16-13. All their points coming from inside.
All inside. In fact, right now they're 0 for 6 from 3. The Panthers are.
Evans with 2 seconds on the timer. Got one up off the back of the rim. The rebound to Talib Zana. Chance to tie for the Panthers. Patterson, bounce pass. Robinson whips it to Young. And Michael Young, no cooperation from his home court rim. Robinson back for Patterson. Oh, Patterson didn't get it. Robinson kept it. Now underneath it's Young. This one he's open for. That's 2 for Michael Young. He's got 4 points in the game. And again, the trend continues. All 18 points for Pittsburgh have come underneath.
And why not? You know, they clearly have the distinct height and size advantage there. So go there until the wells dry.
Milk that comes, right?
All day.
Sam Rowley. Spin toward the basket again. Young with the block. And Young battling to take it away. Muscles the ball away from the Great Danes. Patterson is Zana. Zana double. Rowley is double team. John Puck. Underneath it's Wright. Wright, the pull-up pop. Bang. He got it. Cam Wright for 2. And Pitt in front, 20-18.
How about that find for Patterson? Taking the baseline, actually leaving his feet early, was able to find Wright at the top of the key for a nice knockdown jump shot.
Solid play. Pitt has changed up their defense a little bit. Jay Evans. 2-3 zone. In the middle it goes. Kick out from Puck to Johnson. Yeah, this Albany team is not built to be a draw and kick kind of team. A team that'll kick out and shoot threes. They're battling inside. Foul is called on Mike Rowley. Will be his first. Offensive foul called. Johnson has a seat for Great Danes.
Coach Brown's doing a good job of mixing their defenses up, trying to the matchup zone. Right now they're man-to-man, and we talked about the 1-2-2 full-court press that they ran a little bit earlier.
Cam Wright pulls up. Zana the rebound, slapped that by Evans. Loose ball taken by Robinson. Skip past Patterson, he'll drive to the bucket. Dumps it off for Zana, and Talib Zana will be heading to the free throw line after the foul.
It's Patterson again, getting into the lane and finding a slashing Zana getting to the rim. But you know, I tell you, if Albany, Tim, has any chance of winning this game, they have to keep the Panthers off the offensive glass. They're doing a good job defensively, but if you continue to give a team like this second and third chance opportunities, it's going to be a long night.
Pitt struggling at the free throw line. 0 for 5 from the line as a team. Coming into the game right now, Anders Haas. He is from Copenhagen in Denmark by way of State College of Florida. And again, another free throw miss. That's 0 for 6 now for Pittsburgh.
Uncharacteristic, like. Talk about how well they've been shooting the ball from the free throw line this year.
On the baseline, Rowley, but Pitt takes it away.
They're doing a good job of executing their offense, just not able to finish.
And Wright battles. Lays that one up and in. Cam White with 2 points. And now Pittsburgh with 4 minutes to go has a 4-point lead. And Jamie Dixon, a different type of game for his Panthers here. Nothing going from the outside and nothing going from the free throw line either.
I'll tell you, but what helps though when you get second and third chance opportunities, and you think about Albany, they get one shot at the basket. They're one and done. The Panthers are going the other way with it. On the other hand, you know, with all of that said, they're still only down, but 4 points. 22-18.
There's Rock. He's been pretty active this afternoon.
Yeah, he's feeling it tonight. He's feeling it.
He's looking forward to the ACC. Getting to know those teams when they come.
We all are.
Next game for Pitt will be on the 4th. First ACC game against the North Carolina State. It's been just about 5 minutes since Albany has had a field goal. They have had some droughts. Now Haas, who is a good three-point shooter, misses that one. Anders Haas, a natural point guard, but he's in the shooting guard spot here now with Albany. Johnson tries one for 3. He misses. Patterson trying to get around Johnson. Wide open look for Young on the baseline. In and out. Right. Whips it back out to Robinson and saves the possession. Gets a fresh shot clock in the process.
Totally dominating the offensive glass.
Johnson. And the open look to the baseline. It's right. And he hits the jumper. 6-point lead for Pitt. 3 minutes remaining first half.
It was a good job by Jamie Dixon to decide to go to the 2-3 zone. You would think, why would he do that? But he's really doing it to keep these guys out of the lane. Think about how many points they've scored in the paint. That's changed over the last 2 or 3 minutes of this game in large part because they went to that 2-3 zone.
Well, Pitt is on an 8-0 run. Anders Haas misses on the 3. They'll have a chance to extend their run. Johnson long pass to Wright. Down the perimeter to Robinson. Here's Wright again. Hits the baseline jumper from that side of the court. Cam Wright starting to knock him down from the outside. He's got 8. Leads Pitt in scoring. Beg your pardon, he's got 10 points now. And Pitt is on a 10-0 run and now leads it 26-18.
That's the one area he really improved in is that pull-up jump shot. You know, so many guys, when you think about shooting a basketball, they're either three-point jump shot shooters or they're getting to the rim. That mid-range jump shot has sort of been a lost art. Here's a guy that worked over the summer, has really improved and done a great job so far this year knocking him down.
The sellout crowd here at the Peterson Events Center on this New Year's Eve afternoon with Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Neverett. Glad you're aboard watching the ACC on ESPN. Jamie Dixon's team now pulling in front. They have been seesawing a bit on the scoreboard and trailed for a lot of the first half. Now up by 8. Sends out to Johnson. And Johnson missed on the reverse lay-in. It's been since the 8:15 mark on the game clock since Albany has scored. It was a jump shot by Sam Rowland. Pitt will keep the ball. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Substitution as John Puck will come back in, but Cam Wright having himself a pretty good afternoon. He's starting to get hot from the baseline. Ironman 2 and 3 here this afternoon. 26-18. Pitt in front. Cam Wright has caught fire. He now is the leading scorer with 10 points.
Well, he's kind of did it all for his team so far. And the good thing about the Pitt Panthers is we talked about the fact that when you get it going, the team recognizes it and they find a way to get you the basketball. All these guys on the team right now look for Cam Wright because he's feeling it and he's knocking it down, but he's contributing on both ends. I mean, he has 6 rebounds. 6 minutes to go in the game. In a half, he still has 6 rebounds. 3 of those offensive rebounds. We talked about how they've been dominating on the offensive rebounds. He's been a big part of that.
Well, he is writing a recipe for a double-double here this afternoon. Right with the basketball. He was the only Panther to score from the outside in the game so far. Robinson lays it off the glass and in. It's Robinson, solid penetration. Able to get that ball to the backboard. 10-point lead, largest lead of the game now for either team. Aggressive defense and the ball loose on the floor. Out of bounds. Looked like Patterson, while trying to gain possession of it, touched the end line, so called out of bounds on Pitt. Coming up at halftime, talk about Lamar Patterson's big night against Cal Poly. Take a look at the top 25 scoreboard, and also we'll have the stats and highlights from the first half.
Two policemen have been swarming both interior and exterior, very active.
Wigman with the basketball, gives it to Dallas Enema. Enema, this is on the 3.
Badly.
Johnson with the basketball. Patterson gets shovel inside. Gets him the ball back. Under a minute to go. Shot clock at 15. Patterson kicks it back out. Johnson drives. Jump stop in the lane. And Enema takes down the loose basketball. And there's a 4-second differential. Shot clock to game clock right now. Back to the wing, but Wright knocked it out of bounds.
It's going to be very difficult for Albany to get anything going on. You got to do one or two things against this 2-3 zone. You got to either get ball penetration, or you got to get the ball to the top of the elbows. And right now they haven't had anyone at the high post to do that, and no ball penetration. We have one here at the high post now.
2-3 zone for Pitt. Hooley. His pass goes out of bounds. Back to Pittsburgh. Shot clock is dead. 11 3/10 seconds to go in the first half. Will Brown not all that excited about what he has seen. His team has gone cold offensively. Again, their last field goal at the 8:15 mark of this half.
Unbelievable. They were 5 for 6 prior to that. Came out on fire.
2 for 19 cents. Jamie Dixon's Panthers on a 12-0 run. They're taking advantage of Albany cooling off offensively.
Again, I think a lot of that has to do with the Panthers and how active they are in this 2-3 zone. And really, the weak side help has been on point. They've rotated. They're getting hands up. They're closing out on jump shooters and really causing havoc right now.
Ron Johnson getting some quality minutes off the bench. Puts it in play, and Pitt will go for the last shot here. Robinson guarded by Evans, and Evans fouls him, so Albany will stop the clock. Force Pitt to put the ball in play from the sideline.
It's a good foul. They have one to give.
A quick sub as Mike Rowley will come in. Will Brown wanted to get some size in there. Rowley at 6'8". Robinson charging the basket, fires it up. Zana the rebound, and it fell out. So Talib Zana had a chance for the putback off the Robinson miss, and unable to get it to go. But it is a 10-point lead at the half, 28-18 in favor of Pittsburgh. Not a lot of offense in the first half, a lot of defense. Coming up, our halftime activities from the Peterson Event Center. Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Never. Hope you're enjoying your New Year's Eve afternoon. 28-18 Pitt at the break. And we welcome you back to the Peterson Event Center on this New Year's Eve. Albany and the Pitt Panthers will continue at the hat with Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Neverett. A couple of weeks ago, Pitt suffered their only loss of the season to the University of Cincinnati. It was at Madison Square Garden and a very poor offensive output for the Panthers. They needed the senior leadership of Lamar Patterson to help them rebound when they played Cal Poly. And Lamar Patterson certainly did his job. A career game for Patterson.
No question, they needed him to bounce back, and bounce back he did. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this video is almost unedited. I mean, he scored in every conceivable way. As you see him knock down a three there, he got into the lane, he distributed the basketball. But what you're going to see here is the heads-up play, getting to the basket, finishing with his left hand. Tim, he did it all. We enjoyed watching it.
Well, Patterson hitting from long distance. Again, hitting from inside and also distributing the basketball. It was all Lamar all the time against Cal Poly.
No question, 30 points in 30 minutes. That's a point a minute. Excellent game.
Well, Lamar Patterson tried to dish it there, but then got it back. And Patterson, again, a guy who has been a star for this Pitt Panther team.
The thing you have to appreciate also is the team realized that he had it going, and they got him the basketball.
Well, Patterson had a little bit of help, but makes the baseline jumper look easy there. The numbers against the Mustangs of Cal Poly: a career-high 30 points, a career-high 11 field goals made, a career-high 15 attempted, and he did give some up by dishing the basketball too, so showed some selflessness and still managed to put 30 on the board.
Well, he had it going, and you mentioned he made it look easy. I remember the 4 free throws he shot. They didn't even touch the rim.
Well, Lamar Patterson and the Panthers continue with the Great Danes of Albany. We'll come back with a look at the scoreboard, including a look around the ACC and the top 25. Back here at the Peterson Event Center, 28-18, 10-point lead for the Pitt Panthers at the half. Let's take a look right now at the top 25 games of the day. First half, Ohio State down a point to Purdue. Michigan State, Penn State still to come. Louisville and Central Florida, Northern Illinois, and Iowa State a little bit later on in Ames. Memphis taking on South Florida, the 18th ranked team in the nation. South is Memphis. 22 Iowa hosting Nebraska and Iowa City. Villanova on the road at Butler. Number 17 Connecticut will take on Houston a little bit later on. That's on ESPN2. ACC non-conference games. Elon stepped the road from Duke. 7th ranked team in the nation, 35-18 at the half. Carolina Central visits Maryland. Michigan against number 2 Syracuse coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes. Maryland Eastern Shore, Virginia Tech, UNC Wilmington will take on number 19 North Carolina. Look at the ACC standings right now. Syracuse 12-0. Pitt right behind them 11-1. The lone loss coming to Cincinnati. Maryland and Virginia Tech 1-0 in the conference already. Miami and Boston College have been on the losing ends of those scores. Conference play begins on Saturday. Pitt's at NC State and Raleigh. They'll tip off the ACC scheduled at noon. Miami is at number 2 Syracuse. Georgia Tech and Maryland. Duke's at Notre Dame. Clemson and Boston College tangle in Chestnut Hill. And Virginia will take on Florida State on ESPN2 at 5 o'clock. Stats and highlights from the first half of this one. Wake up. Back in this New Year's Eve afternoon in Pittsburgh, 28-18. Pitt closing out the half with a 12-0 run. Curtis, they needed that as Albany went a little bit cold shooting after they started out 5 for 6.
Yeah, the Panthers have really dominated the ball in terms of offensively in the paint. 20-10 in the paint. That's big, and more importantly, 8 big offensive rebounds for the Pitt Panthers. And I mentioned this earlier. If Albany has any chance of winning this ball game today, they have to try to control the Panthers in terms of offensive rebound.
Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. First, for the Great Danes of Albany, their leading scorer, Sam Rowley. He's got 8 points in the first half, and he's been involved in all of the offense.
Well, that was early because they've had it. There was an 15-minute break, 8 minutes and 15 seconds span without a bucket going into the break. They have to find a way to start getting back on the board. They were doing it early on because they had penetration, and the Panthers went to 2-3 zone, and it was lights out from there. As you see, speaking of lights out, nice knockdown by Cameron Wright.
Well, Cameron Wright got hot a little bit past the halfway mark. In fact, He was the first Panther to hit a shot from the outside. The first 18 points for Pitt were all inside. Points in the paint, but Cam Wright leading the way right now in scoring for the Panthers. 45% from the field for Pittsburgh in the first half, 27% for Albany. 0 for 7 from three-point land. And also they have not hit a free throw, Curtis, in the first half.
Well, that's surprising on both ends when you talk about how well both teams shoot free throws. And, talk about Cameron Wright and the Pitt Panthers and how they play basketball. They play basketball the right way, and talked about how well Patterson played the last game, and he had it going on, and everybody was doing whatever they could to get him the basketball. Kind of reminiscent of that today with Cameron Wright. They're going on their way to find Cameron Wright. He's doing a great job of knocking down jump shots. The Panthers are off to a roll right now.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Happy New Year from Pittsburgh and the Peterson Event Center. Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Nemmer, getting set for the second half between Albany and Pitt. Pitt up by 10. The leaders for the Albany Great Danes at this point in time. Sam Rowley with 8 points. Peter Hooley, their leading scorer, with just 5. And Hooley averages 14.5 a game. Evans, the point guard, with 3, and that was on one shot at the buzzer. The shot clock was just about to expire, and he was well behind the arc. That's his only basket. And for Pittsburgh, Cam Wright with 10, Talib Zanna 6, Michael Young and Lamar Patterson with 4 each. Patterson in the first half with his first basket, going over the 1,000 point mark for his career. Now with 1,003 points. Came in with 999, the 42nd Pitt Panther to achieve the 1,000-point plateau. Talib Zanna looking to pick things up. James Robinson as well. Cam Wright hopes to continue the hot hand here in the second half.
Well, the Panthers ended the first half on a 12-0 run, and Cameron Wright had a lot to do with that.
Panthers 11-1. Albany is 6-6. Each team wraps up conference play this afternoon. Traveling violation and a turnover back to Albany.
A nice head and shoulder fake by Talib Zanna. He just dragged his hind foot and whistled for a travel.
Evans with the ball, got the pass from Hooley. Here's Gary Johnson again. Pitt in a 2-3 zone. Evans, long one. Missed it. Young the rebound. Pass ahead to Wright. Drops it for Patterson. Patterson draws a crowd, gives it to Young, and Young will enter the paint. Redirected by John Puck. Zana can't put back the basketball. Had a freebie, missed it. Albany trying to work the right side. Rolling to the basket. Had it knocked away, but Hooley recovers. 2-on-1 down low, and Wright picks up the foul. First foul on Cam Wright. Team's first in the second half.
He had a choice to either give up an easy layup or make him earn it from the free throw line. Chose the latter.
Send Peter Hooley to the line. Concordia College initiates contact. That's one of the things that was in his scouting report. We saw him do it right there with Wright. Although Wright didn't back away from the contact exactly either.
He typically doesn't.
6 points now for Hooley. Make it 7. 8-point lead for Pittsburgh. 28-20. Free throws. Big difference there. 0 for 6 for Pitt. 4 for 4. Relatively speaking, not a lot of fouls in the game so far.
It's been a pretty clean game.
Patterson to Young. Pitt taking their time. They've got the basketball. They set up for a good shot. Robinson's got a good look, and he hits the three. James Robinson gets Pitt's first three-pointer. They're now 1 for 8 in the game.
Well, it was all set up by the excellent dribble penetration by Patterson. A nice kick out.
Hooley, Evans to Johnson. First 2 minutes of the second half gone by. Hooley along the baseline. Has to dribble out of trouble. Cam Wright defending him. Just picked his pocket. Robinson with numbers. Young fouled. Really, Rowley with no other choice but to commit the personal foul there. So Sam Rowley, this second foul.
Same situation Cameron Wright found himself in. Either foul or give up an easy deuce.
Robinson leading the break with a two-man advantage. As a result, Young gets a chance to hit Pitt's first free throw. And he will not do it. How about this? 0 for 7 from the line. This is very uncharacteristic of the Jamie Dixon team. And you know, we mentioned it earlier. This team entered the game on pace for a school record in terms of free throw percentage, better than 75%. And they have begun this game and entered the second half without hitting one in 7 tries.
Well, you know, unfortunately, it becomes contagious. You know, and the exact opposite happens with this team when you talk about offensively. Well, not opposite. That happens as well. It becomes contagious when the guys start knocking down shots. Everyone gets involved, but when you start missing free throws, it becomes contagious. And talk about this guy at the line here, Mike Young. He has a great touch for a big guy. I mean, just look at his form and how he follows through with the basket. Surprising to miss and knock that down, but surprising these guys are missing free throws like that tonight.
Somewhat of a Bronx cheer from the Oakland Zoo behind us, the student section. The first free throw went down. 1 for 8 from the line. Hook shot, well short. John Puck on the miss. It was tipped by Hooley, knocked out of bounds. Pitt will retain possession. Patterson will put this one back in play. Hope you've got some great plans for your New Year's Eve celebration. Be safe. Stay right here on ESPN. Watch college basketball all day and night. There's plenty of it. Patterson the pull-up. And rebound. Taken down by Rowley. Lost it out of bounds. Back to Pittsburgh. Young man will lend a hand getting that ball back into play. Here comes Jamel Artis back in. He'll check in for Michael Young.
Speaking of substitution, I was just noticing, you can tell as I look at the stat sheet here, minutes that are played by the starters, you can tell Jamie Dixon is starting to get ready for league play. His starting unit has been there most of the game so far.
Robinson tries to pass. Cam Wright hits another. 12 points for Wright. And the largest lead for Pitt now at 14.
Another thing you have to appreciate about Wright, he plays within himself. I mean, very rarely takes bad shots and he's very unselfish. Love to have him as a teammate.
The baseline, no good. Rebound, Sana. Pitt starting to pour it on a little bit now. In their 11 wins, they have won by an average of 18.8 points a game. Even though Albany played very well in the first half, Pitt starting to put some distance between themselves and the Great Danes. DJ Evans. Hooley. Back for Evans. Peter Hooley to Rowley, and that's taken away by Cam Wright. Wright to Patterson. Thought about launching one. Albany now has gone over 11 minutes without a field goal, Curtis.
Unbelievable.
There has been a lid on the basket for Albany. Ever been in one of those games where you think you're doing everything well? You've had great practices leading up to the game, but for whatever reason the ball just won't go in for you?
Well, I can remember that as a player, and certainly shots not falling for me, but I can't remember where the whole team just goes cold for 8 or 9 minute spell.
Right, the dish, and Patterson, 2 more, 6 points for Lamar Patterson. Nice pass by Cam Wright.
Talked about his unselfishness, he displayed it there.
Cam Wright, the most improved player on this Pitt team. Timeout for Will Brown and Albany. Is some of the proper headwear to wear to a Pitt game. 16-point lead. Pitt on a 20-2 run. Albany 0 for their last 9. They have gone 13 minutes now without a field goal. Here's the AP top 10 right now. Arizona unbeaten at 13-0. Syracuse, then Ohio State, Wisconsin also unbeaten. Michigan State 5th. Oklahoma State 11-1 now. Duke, Wichita State, Baylor, and the Ducks of Oregon. Oregon unbeaten at 12-0. Rest of the AP poll. Colorado at number 20 right now, as they are 11-2 and off to a very good start. The Tad Boyle. And the final 5, San Diego State at 10-1 out of the Mountain West. Massachusetts still in there in the top 25. Albany with the possession, and first 5 minutes gone in the second half. They just need a field goal right here, Curtis. And they got one from DJ Evans. Evans been a good defender for the Great Danes. He had 6 steals in a game against Siena. That was a career high for him. The Albany record 7 in a game. Newkirk right to the rack and scoring. Newkirk out of Word of God Academy in Raleigh, North Carolina. Freshman. He really has come on and earned his minutes, backing up Robinson. Hooley kicks it out. Evans will try a three. Evans knocks it down. DJ Evans with a long one. And now Albany trying to shoot themselves back into this game.
Great job so far to Evans. Nice pull-up jump shot and then stepped into a nice three.
The last 5 points for Albany. The fingertips of DJ Evans. Sana. Physical battle underneath. He's going to get called for the foul. So Zana picks up his second personal foul. Offensive foul results in a turnover for Pittsburgh. So the ball back to Albany. 13:50 left. Timeout on the floor. Jamie Dixon's Panthers up. That's the new Oakland Zoo jersey for the inaugural ACC season. In fact, Curtis, earlier, a student had brought his grandmother in, and the grandmother had the Oakland Zoo shirt, and she said this was a bucket list item for her. She wanted to enjoy a game as a member of the zoo. So I told her she's a redshirt freshman. NC State, the first one. After that, Maryland, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and the number 2 Syracuse at the Dome on January 18th. Different looking schedule now. Certainly will be competitive. I think Jamie Dixon's comment when the move was made, such a shift in college athletics with teams changing conferences and such, but Pitt ends up in a pretty good situation. He said, we went from the best basketball conference in America to the best basketball conference in America. It really was a win-win for Pittsburgh and the ACC. Johnson underneath. Randall for 2, his first basket of the game.
Nice find by Johnson. Good catch by Randall.
Here's Hooley. He goes to the basket, had a little bit of room, but shot was redirected. Puck couldn't control it for Albany. That goes out of bounds off of Pitt, so the Danes will have the basketball.
Really did a nice job of beating his man to the basket, trying to put a little mustard on it. All he had to do was finish it.
And Newkirk almost had the steal. Evans able to have the quick hands. Had him along the baseline. Here's Puck shot. Is good. And the first basket for John Puck. Puck, the 6'10" senior out of Waterloo, Iowa. Got a chance to play near his hometown the last game when they played at Drake. A couple of Iowans, also Dallas Enema from Sheldon, Iowa. Both the Iowans on the floor right now for Albany. Everett with a basketball. Evans able to get the pass off on the wing. And a steal by Patterson. Patterson trying to outrun puck. He does that. Scores easily with a finger roll. 8 points for Lamar Patterson. Patterson has had 48 double-figure games. He's 2 points away from his 49th.
Been Mr. Consistent since he's been with the Panthers.
Evans for three. Got it. Hits his second three-pointer. And maybe that's something that Will Brown ought to consider offensively here for the rest of the game. Is that Evans seems to now have a hot hand for the Great Danes. Keep going.
Let him chuck it.
Steal now. Dallas Enema. He can't get close enough to the hoop. Off the glass, no good. Other way quickly, Newkirk. Teardrop off the front rim, gets his own rebound. He's 0 for 2. Play a little bit scrambly right now. Hooley for Evans. 3. Couldn't get that one to go. Battle for the loose ball. End up back in possession of the Pittsburgh Panthers. Now a steal by Patterson. He makes the easy basket, and Pitt is up 42. Sixth man's been working hard today. So the first 5. It's 42-30. Pitt with the lead over Albany. 11:01 to go in the game. Talk about the leaders in the ACC currently in assist to turnover ratio. James Robinson leading the way at 5. Tyler Ennis of Syracuse right behind him. That's for the second-ranked team in the country as well. Lamar Patterson right up there among the leaders in field goal percentage and assists per game. And free throw percentage as well. James Robinson right in the middle of it. 87, almost 88%.
Talk about turnover assist ratio. You can't do much better than Cameron Wright. 7 assists, 0 turnovers.
Career high 7 assists for Wright. Had Zana hit that would have been 8, but it's on a foul. He'll go to the line. And the foul's called on John Puck. First foul on Puck and the second team foul. Zana at the line, and he hits this one. Probably relief to Jamie Dixon. The free throws are starting to fall. And the next shot is up and good. So Zana 2 for 2, 44-30, 14-point edge. Albany will stay the night in Pittsburgh tonight, Curtis. They're going to bring in the new year here in the Steel City. And they will fly back to Albany tomorrow.
As much as it was snowing when I came in today, they may not have no choice but to stay tonight.
Well, and as much snow as Pittsburgh's expected, Will Brown was telling me he's a little concerned about tomorrow because Albany's expecting 7 to 10 inches. Cam Wright fouled on the perimeter. Dallas Enema picks up the foul, his first. Cam Wright himself an afternoon. Here comes Mike Rowley. Albany's played Pitt twice before in this series. They're 0 for 2, but Will Brown has had a decent record in the city of Pittsburgh. This is his second time here this year. Overall, he's 4 and 3 in Pittsburgh. He's had games against Duquesne and also Robert Morris.
I'll take that, 4 and 3.
That's all time. That's not just this year, obviously, but he's had a better record against Robert Morris than Duquesne. He has yet to get a win against Pitt.
I'll take 3 out of 4 anytime.
Spinning shot by Patterson. He's into double figures once again for Lamar Patterson, the 49th time. He has had 10 points or more in a game.
Panthers back into a man-to-man.
Double. Not much room for him to go. And a timeout before the turnover, perhaps the potential turnover occurred. So Albany does call the timeout.
That's what the Panthers do so well. They force you to throw the ball in the corners, and then they trap those long arms and try to prevent you from getting the ball out of that corner and turning it over. It's a good heads-up play to call timeout.
One thing about Albany, and we're not seeing it here in this game, unfortunately for them, is the fact that they are one of the better teams in free throw percentage.
There's a play I was talking about. They kind of bait you in to throw the ball in the corner, and when you do, they come down and double team. But I think Albany's also recognized that that high ball screen is not working for them because the Panthers are so big. When they come to heads, they usually trap, and they have nowhere to go from there. So you haven't seen many high ball screens from Albany.
Talking about those free throws, they've only had a chance to hit 4. They're 4 for 4, but 13th in the nation in free throw percentage coming into this game. And as far as field goal percentage, that's been down. They shot a season worst against Duquesne on the 20th of November, 57.9%. And the field goal percentage this afternoon, 28.2%. So well below their season worst. And right to the basket, high off the glass. Battle for the loose ball is finally called a held ball, I believe. It is a held ball. The possession arrow favoring Pittsburgh. Or Albany, I beg your pardon. And a little slow to get up under the basket. This leading scorer for Albany, Peter Hooley.
There you go. Hooley's checking himself out. He has to be taken out of the game. Oh, he stands. Or he's walking to the bench.
I think certainly that has been an issue with this team, has been injuries. Luke Devlin has been standing behind the Albany bench. He's the guy in the purple warm-ups you see standing up. Still struggling with some injuries, playing through aches and pains. Sitting down doesn't help him much, so he stands up. Sam Rowley for the basket. Also, Levan Shingela, who is from Tbilisi in the Republic of Georgia, has had a torn labrum in his shoulder. Can't redshirt, so hasn't had any action in this game yet. We do expect to see him perhaps. But again, he plays through the pain also.
Coach Brown's bench isn't that deep, so a lot of those guys out there, trust me, playing through the pain.
Well, I asked him how deep he'd go today, and he said, well, we may go pretty deep.
Yeah, he said it really depends on how they're calling the game. In terms of that new rule where you're not allowed to hand check, sometimes it calls for long games. But they've done a good job of not calling that. It's been a pretty clean game so far, so he hasn't had to go too deep on his bench.
Mike Rowley misses the long one. Robinson, no look in the middle, intercepted. Evans. DJ Evans to the basket. He's fouled by Robinson.
A little frustration foul there.
Robinson commits his first personal foul. 46-32 is the score. Pittsburgh in front. Lamar Patterson, another double-figure ball game. Pitt head women's coach Susie McConnell-Serio, her team off to a pretty good start this year, off a big win over Duquesne, her former team. Her first year as a head women's coach at Pitt.
Well, the city's pretty excited about that. I understand they have 4,000 or 5,000 people at that game, and I actually started to get calls about tickets for women basketball. That hadn't happened in a long time, so she has people pretty excited about what she's doing, and I know her personally, great person, and I would love to play for somebody like that as a player.
These Pitt Panthers, Jamie Dixon right now just 7:34 away from their 12th win out of 13 games, wrapping up non-conference play as they look to extend what has been a remarkable record in non-conference play at the Peterson Event Center. They're 109-3 in non-conference games here. 188-22 all-time in this building that opened up in 2002. Evans knocks down the free throw for Albany. DJ Evans out of Brandon, Mississippi, out of East Mississippi. 5'9" point guard.
In the second half, he's acted more as a scorer. He was more of a facilitator the first half and realized that nothing was going for the guys. He got involved offensively and done a good job.
Puck takes it away. Peter Hooley right along the sideline. Rowley. Sam Rowley with a basketball. Rowley. Back to Evans and Rowley. Two-man game on the right. Backing in, Rowley tries that left-handed hook. That's been effective for him at times. Not there.
It has, and that was an ISO for Rowley and just wasn't able to convert. You can see on the other end, the big guy, Artist over the top. Nice finish.
8 assists for Cam Wright as he feeds Artist for the basket. So Wright extends his career high in assists.
Almost 7 minutes to go. He's looking at a double-double.
12 points. It's a pretty solid effort. 12 points, 8 assists as it is. Evans driving to the basket, fouled by Robinson. That'll be the second foul on James Robinson. 14-point lead for Pitt, 6:26 left. Albany's next game is at home on the 4th of January against Hartford. Evans knocks that down. So 6 for 6 from the free throw line. They have had 3 games this year where they have missed just 1 free throw in a game. Last was against Drake. Free throw percentage is up now. They're getting an opportunity to shoot more of them here in the second half. Patterson with the ball. And 6:15 left. Lead is 12. Johnson drives, hangs, scoops, and can't score. Pretty good-looking attempt by Johnson. The rebound was Wigman's. And now a foul on Newkirk before the shot. That'll be on the floor. And still not in the bonus, so it'll be a possession foul for Albany. Wigman will trigger the inbound. Looking for trends, Curtis. And one trend that is interesting but absolutely meaningless is the fact that this being a Tuesday, Albany's 3-0 on Tuesdays. They're 0-3 on Saturdays, incidentally. Trying to change that against Hartford coming up on Saturday. Their Tuesday trend might take a hit today.
And with 5:31 to go, I would think so. Not if Evans has anything to do with it. All 5'9" of him, he's been giving it all his second half, I should say. At least offensively.
Jamie Dixon wants a timeout. Sam Rowley had just checked in for Albany. Newkirk, along with Young and Wright, visiting with the head coach at this point in time. Jamie always intense and coaching all the way to the end. And I think he wants his guys to realize they've got to bear down here. It's a 12-point game. There's still 5:31 to go. And Albany is a tough team. Again, this is a second-round NCAA tourney team from a year ago.
You know, it's interesting that they made this run, Albany that is, when the Panthers came out of their 2-3 zone, and it was just so effective the first half, the 2-3 zone, and keeping guys out of the lanes, and the perimeter guys were doing a great job of closing out. The second half, they seem to be a step slow defensively.
Albany right now on a mini 6-2 run. Make that 8-2. As John Puck knocks down the short jumper, he's got 4 points. Makes it a 10-point game. Get inside 10 with 5 minutes or less to go. It gets a little more interesting.
Anything can happen.
And Mike Rowley gets it to his brother Sam. It's nice to be able to play with your brother. He's so far from home. Sydney, Australia is where they hail from. Pass to Puck. He dishes off to Mike Rowley. DJ Evans with it. 13 on the timer. Cross for Hooley. It's a screen from Puck. Ducks under it and scores. What a shot by Peter Hooley. And Hooley with 9 points. And Jamie Dixon's going to have to call a timeout. It's turned from a mini run into a pretty good run for Albany. 10-2. Since there was 11:41 on the game clock. So over the last 7 minutes or so, a 10-2 run for the Great Danes.
Nice step back three here, but actually it was a 2, but it was a nice shot. You know, I tell you, Jamie Dixon, that was a much needed timeout because I don't see the same intensity. There's a 3 here. Oh no, it's a step in. I don't see the same intensity from the Pitt Panthers as I saw earlier. Look at the space that he has here. Not a strong closeout at all. Difficult shot, but you got to close out a little stronger than that.
Now some members of the Oakland Zoo in training. Starting them young.
They just keep coming.
An 8-point game with 4.5 to go. And suddenly for Jamie Dixon, reason for alarm. Pitt went through the end of the first half on a 12-0 run. Started the second half a continuation. They were 20-2 on a run at one point. But Albany is heated up once again as they were hot to start the game. Now they've got another chance to score as Evans hangs, and he cannot get that one to go. And a foul is whistled underneath. And this one's going back to Pitt. Mike Rowley. He's guilty of the infraction. That'll be his third foul.
We talk about the Panthers. Even offensively, they're not as fluid as they were early. The ball is sticking in guys' hands a little too long. Got to make an adjustment.
Foul called on Sam Rowley. Albany has whittled away a 16-point lead. Pitt had a 16-point lead early in the second half. Now they've cut that down to 8.
Got to give it to them. They've just been chipping away.
Offensively for Pitt, I mean, this is a team that scores just under 79 points a game. And they have been held to 48 with 3:48 to go. Comes out to play right. Double team. Right. Steps through it. Gets it to Patterson. Patterson had his pocket picked. And Hooley one-on-one against Robinson. And Robinson has to commit the foul. Peter Hooley will be headed to the free throw line as Robinson commits his third personal. And that is the 7th team foul. So now Albany in the bonus the rest of the way. It's an 8-point game in Pittsburgh. Along with Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Everett here at the Peterson Event Center, 48-40. And Albany's best free throw shooter going to the line. All of a sudden, we get a ball game. Conference play beginning Saturday. And Pitt at noon will take on NC State. Number 2, Syracuse hosting Miami. Maryland, Georgia Tech, Duke, Notre Dame, Clemson, Boston College, and Virginia. And Florida State. That game on ESPN2 at 5 on Saturday. Conference play is set to start. Jamie Dixon not concerned right now. He's concerned about getting a win here at home against a team that is refusing to go away. Peter Hooley has hit 17 consecutive free throws, 4 for 4 today, and he's missed it.
Doesn't it always happen that way?
It is.
Had an opportunity to knock down.
Always happens that way.
An opportunity to knock down 2 free throws and make this a 2-possession game.
He's just one of 4 players in Division I who has shot a perfect 1,000 from the line, 100% from the line, rather, in a single game. He's done it multiple times. He missed his first one. Wild. Cam Wright. 14 points for Wright. Leads all score.
Good ball movement.
DJ Evans. 3 minutes to go in the game. 9-point edge for Pittsburgh. Lob inside for Puck. And he scores right around Zana.
That was a design play for Puck. Set a high ball screen on the left side of the court, rotated the ball and slashed right down the middle. Evans found it for a nice banker.
Now you're inside of 3 minutes, almost inside of 2.5 minutes. Talib Zana steps to the basket and scores. That's big, but when you're Pitt and you have the basketball with this much time on the clock, what do you do?
I'm sorry, when you're Pitt, you have the basketball?
You have the basketball.
Oh, you got to work the clock. I mean, Pitt's one of the best in the country at running their stuff. And when they run their stuff, they usually get what they want. They just have to convert the shot. You want to work deep into the shot clock, obviously.
See if Evans starts looking at some threes. Well, Rowley will, and he's off to the left. It's going to be out of bounds and back to Pitt with 2:01 to go. With Pitt having to run some time. Here's Michael Young coming back in. You'd think that Albany would start going to the fouls. They've got one to give here. 5 team fouls.
At this point, Pitt's just going to spread the floor and run their stuff, take what Albany gives them. If they obviously don't have a shot, they start to look to get into their ISOs about 10 seconds on the clock. We'll call a play with about 10 seconds on the ISO for some reason.
Right to Patterson, 10 seconds on the timer. Robinson throws it up, swatted away, but before the block, a foul is called on Albany. And the foul will be on the point guard, DJ Evans, his second foul. 6th foul. That stops the clock, 1:34 to go. And so, essentially, Pitt will be shooting on each foul the rest of the way, with this being a shooting foul. Now, the next foul would put Pittsburgh in the bonus. And Albany will have to take their chances trailing by putting Pittsburgh at the line. 10-point lead. Robinson now with 7 points.
On the other hand, if you're Albany, you want to get something up pretty quickly.
And not a lot of time to waste for the Great Danes. Trying to get Evans a shot, perhaps. Maybe it's Hooley. Pitt defensively doing a nice job underneath. Rowley couldn't connect. Sam Rowley on the miss. He was where he wanted to be, just couldn't connect on the shot.
I don't understand how you can lose Rowley on the baseline wide open. Had an excellent opportunity to get easy deuce.
Under a minute to go in this one. And foul is on Sam Rowley. His 4th foul. And that's put Pittsburgh in the bonus. So each team in the bonus the rest of the way. 17 fouls each. 10 points for Patterson. Talib Zana wouldn't mind another rebound. He's got 10 points, 9 boards. 1 rebound away from another double-double. Players flirting with double-doubles today for Jamie Dixon. Zana.
Right.
We mentioned Cam Wright as well. Points and assists. 8 assists for Cam Wright to go with 14 points. And Lamar Patterson knocks them both down. He's got 12 points. 3 Panthers with double figures on the floor. Wright, Patterson, and Zana. Evans a long one. He's got another 3-pointer for DJ Evans.
Big shot for Evans.
Evans is 4 for 6 from behind the arc, and the majority of them have been long ones like that.
Defense was a little late rotating. He had a clean look. Knockdown.
You might see a little more of this. The final 40 seconds. 10-point lead for Pitt. Albany Great Danes scratching and clawing their way, trying to stay in this ball game.
win or lose, you got to walk away if you're Albany thinking that you played a pretty solid game. I thought they did a good job even when they went through that spell where there were about 8 minutes and 15 seconds without a bucket. You looked up, they were still in the game.
Well, they'll have Hartford Saturday at home to start that conference schedule. Maryland, Baltimore County, and the Catamounts of Vermont on January 11th, UMass Lowell. And they've got to make the trip to Orono, Maine, January 18th to take on the Black Bears. It's an afternoon game in Orono. In Orono, Maine in mid-January, you never know what you're going to get weather-wise. You're pretty sure it's going to be cold, however. But it's a tough travel schedule. A lot of bus in the American East. Robinson. There's triple team there. Puck almost with the steal. And Patterson is fouled from behind. Getting the foul, Dave Wigman. First foul on Wigman. So what Will Brown had done is gone to the bench, made sure that Hooley was in. Hooley doesn't have a foul. Wigman now with his first. Puck's only got one. And Mike Rowley has 3. Sam Rowley on the bench with 4. So there are some fouls to give. Well, here comes Sam back in, and Wigman is out.
On the other hand, Jamie Dixon making sure that he has his free throw shooters in the game. All pretty good free throw shooters other than Talib Zana, and you need him to protect the rim on the other end.
Patterson taking his time, adding to his point total from the line. He's got 13. 14 for Patterson. Patterson averaging just over 17 points a game. So Patterson and Wright now tied for the game lead in points scored with 14 each. Mike Rowley lights up a 3. And Wright chasing down the rebound. Pitt can take their time. Albany's not going to foul. The Pittsburgh Panthers will go to 12-1. Albany 6-7. As this one is over, the non-conference portion of the season done. On to league play for both teams. Final score of 58-46, a 12-point win for the Pitt Panthers. It was shaky at times, Curtis, but in the end they got it done. And they're now 12-1.
No question. I tell you, if you look at the score, you may think, well, why didn't the Panthers beat Albany by more than 12 points? But Albany played a really solid game, and I thought they executed their offense well. Didn't convert some shots that maybe they should have, but I was impressed.
11th straight home win for the Pittsburgh Panthers. They are now 189-22 in this building. 58-46 the final score. Pittsburgh beats Albany. For Curtis Aiken and our entire crew here in Pittsburgh, I'm Tim Neverett. Happy New Year, everybody, and thanks for watching the ACC on ESPN.